Okay, hello YouTube. This is my first video that I've ever made for YouTube. I thought I'd show off this 1000 watt 24 to 36 volt induction heater that I picked up from AliExpress. I made this coil out of just some refrigerator piping I found, copper pipe I found from Home Depot, and I also bought this plastic tubing to pump water through it. I'm powering this device, which it says it can take up to 50 amps, but I don't run it that high. Well, I got this transformer. It's good only to 15 amps, so I usually power it from 24 to 28. I haven't seen it go more than 17 amps. The secondary is 14 gauge wire on it, so I'm assuming I can probably get away with 15 to 20 amps off of it. I've got, this is a rectifier. It says it's rated for 100 amps, but it gets really hot out with just 14 amps, so I don't know. I got it on this heatsink now, but it's kind of, I just put it on really loosely, and I gotta get some thermal paste on there too. So I got this transformer, and I found that the rectifier, when I measured the DC voltage out, it was very inconsistent and spiky. So I got this capacitor. It's a 60 volt capacitor. I think it's just meant for a motor starter. So yeah, I got this, and now it's just a nice clean DC voltage out. This is an awesome toroidal transformer though. Can't believe I picked this thing up. It was only 40 bucks. You don't need this variac. I'm just using it because it's nice to just control the voltage and the amperage with it. I just got it fused on the primary and secondary there with just 15 amp breakers that I picked up from a job a while back. Yeah, so that's her. I can show you now. I'll turn everything on. Okay, so it's turned on now. It's got this nice little blue light. This thing heats up even without any load on it. I don't have anything in the coil yet. I just figured I'd... So with no load on the AC side here, we're drawing 6 amps. If I sit this down, I can show you the voltage. Okay, the voltage on the AC here, I got 21 volts roughly with no load. Okay, so I start by putting in this bit just to watch it heat up there. It's already hot. So the current, once you put a load in there, now it's drawing 13 amps. I've also put this crucible in. It gets very hot in there as well. I forget what, I think it draws over 16 amps with the crucible. This coil actually takes quite a bit longer. When I first got it, I didn't have the copper pipe. So the very first thing I tried was this. And this is 14 gauge wire. It was insulated, which was a mistake obviously. And it melted almost right away. So this thing gets pretty hot. So don't do that. Just melted my wire. So then I grabbed this wire here. It's 4 gauge. The coil is much smaller than this copper coil. So it actually heats this up probably close to twice as fast. Close to twice as fast as this other one. I think just because it's smaller. It's 4 gauge wire, so that works really well. But there's no way to cool it down. So I got my pump now going. And this thing's getting nice and hot. With regard to the board here, when I touched the different components, these are the MOSFETs here, they're very cold. There's nothing heating up. The capacitors don't feel very hot at all. The only thing that I've felt so far on this board that's heated up is this transistor here. It gets very hot, so I think I'm going to have to beef up that heatsink because it's already very hot to the touch. But yeah, that's the only thing really. And now we've got this bit here. Pull this out a bit, nice and red hot. Pretty good. I just have it sitting on a ceramic plate right now. So yeah. Okay, so here's a look at the board without the fan. Looks like that's probably a rectifier there. There's another, I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked up this yet, but this piece here, the one that kept heating up on me, is actually a voltage regulator, 24 volt voltage regulator. These MOSFETs are, it's a little too dark to see, but they're IRFP 260N MOSFETs. These caps are 0.33 microfarads, good for 1200 volts DC, 630 AC at 50 hertz, which is interesting because we have 60 hertz here in Canada. So I don't know how much that affects it. Lots of big fat resistors, which is nice. Some other little diodes, but it's fairly simple. Looks to be a fairly simple circuit. There's your blue LED that you see when it gets lit up. But yeah, so I'll just show you this. This is the piece that is heating up on me, the L7824CV voltage regulator. Its output voltage 24, output current is 1.5 amps, and input voltage minimum says 26 volts, which is interesting because it says you can put in 24 to 32 or even 12 volts, which I've heard 12 is a voltage that's too low. It doesn't run well off of that, but I don't know. Here's the IRFP 260N, the MOSFETs that this thing's running off of. They are continuous drain current, 50 amps,